Good morning and good afternoon, good evening to everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the PELE YOETZ, and we're starting today a new chapter, which is entitled Ahavas Atzmo, the love that one has of themselves. We worked on understanding how to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that brings us now to the next level of love, which is how to love ourselves, which perhaps in the world that we live in today is one of the most elusive qualities that a person can have. Because at the end of the day, when a person so much judges themselves based upon the opinions of others, when they look at their own life and they measure it on that life that other people are living, when their friends are on Facebook and people that like them give them a thumbs up, and they are in the rat race of the world to keep up with the Joneses, it's very difficult for a person to understand their atzma, who they really are. And although we have a great mitzvah called V'ahavta l'recha kamecha, you have to love your fellow Jew the way that you love yourself, you can only do that if you actually do love yourself. And the world is struggling with self-love today. We're depraved of the love that a person needs to have for themselves, the appreciation of their talents, of their skills, of their abilities, of their strengths, and even putting into perspective their weaknesses and their deficiencies and their shortcomings, which is all part of the package of who they are, which makes them the person that they are, which leads them on the pathway to avodas Hashem that they themselves and only they can achieve and accomplish, and will help them become the best them, the best you that you could become. So Ahavas Atzmo, the love that one has of themselves, is a central theme in all of the Torah and all of the mitzvahs, and therefore the PELE YOETZ says that right after you love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you worked on that, you accomplished that, now we have to go into the realm of learning how to love ourselves, appreciating ourselves for who we are. And he says like this, Ki tevahu be'enosh, there is a inherent nature inside of a person, she'idbiya bo habayir, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu implanted inside of us. She'oyev es atzmo, a person naturally is supposed to love themselves. That's the natural state of being from the time that you are born until you will pass from this world, a healthy human being who, I guess we'll say, doesn't have the traumatic experiences that remove this natural feeling from him. A person should, b'derech hateva, naturally look at himself and love themselves. They should love themselves. A person is a karev, they are like a relative towards themselves, they are very close to themselves. And they will love themselves more than anything else in the world. And more than anything that there is in the world. You love yourself more than you love your wife. You love yourself more than you love your husband. You love yourself more than you love your children. You love yourself more than you love your favorite restaurant in the world and the top dish that's on the menu with all the trimmings. You love yourself more than the greatest vacation that you've ever taken before, to the exotic jungle somewhere in the Amazon where you have so many pictures and you put together photo albums to show what an amazing time you had together. You love yourself more than the greatest movie, more than the greatest game, more than the greatest chasana, the wedding that you ever went to that was filled with joy and with simcha as you walked your child down to the chuppah. You actually love yourself more than anything, says the PELE YOETZ. And that's natural, that's the way that it's supposed to be. If you're a healthy, happy individual, that is the way that a person should look at themselves. I truly love myself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put this into me, he put into my nefesh, into my soul, that I have a clear understanding of how precious and how special I am, how unique I am compared to anybody else in the history of the world, and therefore I actually have an ahava, I'm in love with myself. Ki kol asher la'ish yiten ba'ad nafshoy, a person will do anything for themselves. I would go any place, I would do anything, I would get involved in any activities that I think are going to be a benefit for me, All of that because of the tremendous, deep ahava, the love that I have of myself. Says the PELE YOETZ, that's standard. Standard is that a person looks in the mirror, maybe your body, you could lose a few pounds over here, you could use a few pounds over there, maybe you don't like the size of your nose, you don't like the color of your hair. All of that is irrelevant. That's silly things that a person focuses on. On the atzmius, the essence of who the person is. I truly love myself. I don't need someone to stroke me and pat my back. I don't need somebody to give me 1,000 likes on my TikTok video. I don't need someone to stand up at a banquet and praise me for all of the amazing tzedakah that I gave, and I'm such a big tzaddik, I'm such a great person, and therefore everybody should bow down to me and tell me how good I am. I don't need any of that. Inherently, says the PELE YOETZ, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it that if we would just appreciate ourselves, we would recognize the tremendous creation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made in ourselves, the Tselem Elokim that we are, the godliness, the image of Hashem that we are, the unique and special neshama that Hashem gave to me and not to anybody else in this world, the talents, the mezeg, which is the compilation of all the different abilities that I have, the personality traits that I have, the emotional world that I have, the spiritual world that I have. I'm like no other in the world, and therefore for that, I have a great love as I am so close to myself, closer than anybody else in the entire world. And therefore he starts off the chapter with letting us understand the derech hateva, the nature of a person is, you have to love yourself. There's so much to love. And if a person is struggling with loving themselves, then look a little bit further. Go beneath the surface. Don't get caught up in the imagery. Don't get caught up in the illusion of this world. Don't get caught up in your car, in your house, in your clothing, in your belt, in your shoes, and your body parts, and your hair color, and your eye color. Don't get caught up. A person who goes and they do plastic surgery to change the way that they look, they don't love themselves. A person who changes their eye color, they don't love themselves. A person who's always looking to try to be like somebody else, they don't love themselves. Says the PELE YOETZ, we are supposed to love ourselves naturally. Have a wonderful day.